It is Mercury night, Mars hour. Mercury is on the 22nd degree, and of course, I'm doing another cold case using this nervous system technique, which basically means I look at the chart of when I was exposed to a case. This is a cold case of an elderly woman that was found murdered. Again, Peter Adolf Fries Foundation. And so immediately the midheaven is important degree for me, degree 7. In Venus sign in Taurus. The ascendant is, yes, so that would be ascendant Leo, with Mars in Leo in the regal degree 5. And this is Mars hour. So Mercury is ruled by Jupiter, that is still 18 degrees. So we have, first of all, in terms of degrees, regal degree 5 is degree that has to do with publicity, fame, royalty, okay? Specifically, Mars has to do with bloodline, and Mars in regal degree in Leo can have to do, so immediately the thing that pops into my mind, can have to do with royal bloodline, okay? Whether she had royal bloodline, whether that had to do with some royal bloodline. Mars is about action. However, the degrees that are, and 7th degree. So one thing I learned about, for example, secret societies and Masonry is that the numbers 6, 5, and 7 are very important. And here in the degrees, we see degree 5 and degree 7 when Rahu is on degree 3. So this, to me, is given another sign where it could be secret society affiliated. She was an elderly woman, so it always seems strange to me, like, why murder elderly women, or elderly people? It's like, why on earth? Okay, not in the sense that they are going to die, but in the sense of like why would they bother anyone? Okay, and so immediately the things that would pop into mind is whether it was a secret society affiliated, whether it was a curse or some betrayal that somebody had to take. And Rahu degree 3 Aries, Mars ruler of Rahu, royal degree 5, and the midheaven degree 7. So 3, 5, 7, these are most important numbers to Masonry. And so that can have to do with the Mason's degree. So maybe she was Mason, maybe it was because of something to do with the lodges, and if so, it is very likely to be affiliated with royal bloodline. So whether it was her or her assassin. Now, as per the death causing degrees. Okay, so there's the surrounding degrees, the surrounding numbers, and then there are the death degrees, which is 22nd degree is evident here. So it's not like the case where I looked at it, it was nothing on the 20, there was only Jupiter in 18 degree, was nothing on the 11th degree, nothing on the 22nd degree. And I said, maybe that's a person, maybe that was a curse, that was manifested death or a poison. But I didn't see anything additional in the nervous system that's popping, that's giving murder or that's giving suicide. Okay. Today, on this chart, we have a very particular Mercury in 22nd degree, which denotes murder, and ruler of Mercury in Jupiter in 18th degree, Gemini, which denotes poison. So we are very likely to have the combination of murder and poison to do with this death as well. The moon is in 10 degrees Virgo, which is the middle phase of Virgo. In terms of the lunar mansion, this, I believe, would be lunar mansion that's actually associated with fertility rather than like causing discord. So I don't necessarily see anything, but the moon is ruled by Mercury, which kind of denotes that Mercury is on the murder degree. So that can have to do with maybe some sort of fertility ritual that is inverted. We have to understand that secret societies, unfortunately, are inverted form of the sciences. What does it tell about the entire scientific endeavor that we know? Well, I leave you to understand that. But the thing is that there could be some sort of something to do with fertility and murder, so that there can be achieved certain sort of fertility. This is a lunar mention that denotes of the ability to be potent also when having sex. So I'm not saying, God forbid, that she was raped or anything like that, not at all. But the sense there was some sort of a harvesting of energy. And the moon right now is a half moon, it's a closing moon. So I don't quite, maybe there was some sort of a sacrifice to do with fertility. And that moon is relevant because it is ruled by this Mercury. Okay, both Jupiter and the moon are relevant. They are ruled by this murder Mercury. So moon is also housing, and that can have to do with perhaps she was, I don't know if she was living alone, or maybe about house, maybe wanting to inherit the house, or maybe some young Masonic couple wanted to grow a family and said, okay, we will murder this old woman and settle in. You have to remember that in Netherlands there is public housing. So moon is immediately denoting to me of a house, and in the Mercury sign it's trade, buying a house, selling a house. So maybe she was murdered as a result of something to do with maybe even royal family wanting to, not royal family, like the kingdom or the secret societies wanting to do a real estate project, for which they would murder. And that would mean that she is one private case in series of cases, so we'd have to look for more cases. The sun is leaving a sextile with Pluto and leaving a trine with Neptune. So that would denote that a grand global project could be, because this Leo degree and the sun rules Mars and is ruled by this Jupiter, so sun is indirectly connected to the 20 to 18 degree as well. That would mean a global project, and here it is very likely to do with a global religion, but with poison. Okay, it's like either poisonous beliefs, or because that can be Jupiter's belief, right? But the sextile with Pluto is giving connection between that regal degree, so it is royal degree, royal bloodline, and perhaps the off with their heads. So it can be that it was even like a form of execution for this lady that may have been regal in some way. And that is one of the options. Okay, another option is that some regal authority was of secret societies, were of regal bloodline, was committing series of murders of people, and this Pluto is ruled by Saturn, which is now in Pisces in 12th degree. So again, this Saturn still in 12th degree of Pisces can denote of curses, of witchcraft, but I have to be more accurate here because it's not a call for witch hunt, but actually the witchcraft is done within the lodges, okay, that later persecute people for over nothing for witchcraft, but they are the ones doing the dark magic, okay, the inverted form of ritual. So it can either be over something like that, and in that case she would be one study case of a series of study cases that went down in this way. It can be because of secret societies. We have Op Day and we have the Memento Mori, okay, the death cults. So it can be that she was appointed death, and if she was one member of secret society, which I don't know in terms of the lodges, I think it was mainly male lodges. she was elderly when she was murdered. So I think it was male lodges, but it can be that she was somehow affiliated, perhaps because of royal bloodline or something of that sort. And you learn it by the blood type, okay? So it's not something that she would necessarily know. So that can be an operation of deciding to take her life. And this is something that secret society like Opday does. And they would decide that this is time, and this would be a form of murder, and would use with poison. So that can be the case, and that is a sort of manifested for her to be poison, and that Saturn 12th degree would be somebody manifesting, or a secret society manifesting a structure, okay, manifesting hidden global cult with Pluto's global cult, manifesting her death. And that can be simply that a part of her being affiliated with that cult meant that this is death time, okay? And this is structural, so it wasn't necessarily something personal against her or grudge or something like that. Can have more to do with the only thing I can see personal is maybe on the background of her beliefs. But I have to be very honest here. I think this one may be operation for, like, if she was a member of Lodge, then they take their own people down in their timing, and I think that could be one of those cases, okay? So if it is some sort of a grudge against her, that could have been because of her worldview or because of somebody's poisonous beliefs that led to murder as a result of that, perhaps using poison. Because she was found murdered. I didn't look on purpose. I didn't look yet into the deeper details of the case. You can find that at petteadevriesfoundation.com, I think. Yes, and it's in Dutch, but we all have Google. And if you have concrete details, if you know this woman, if you were in Netherlands, if you saw her, anything concrete knowledge, you can write it to the foundation. If it is more like me doing astrology or stuff like that, that is not considered a tip. And I addressed this when I addressed the challenges in doing cold cases. And so this is also for the reason that I'm doing that in this format and not writing to the foundation. So those are all the things that could be around this. Now, because Saturn is co-present with Neptune, it can be the case that some Neptune is involved here. What would be that Neptune? And here I have to be very honest. I don't necessarily think it is like World Health Organization. It's not impossible, but I think that it's something more to do with something regal, rather, and secret society with the numbers, okay, 3, 5, and 7, and Mars being the ruler of Rahu. But Rahu is with Neptune, so it can be the case that because we are moving towards kind of like a world cult to do with the medicines, then she was one of the people of one of the old orders that are taken down, maybe as a sacrifice, maybe not, because of something to do with royal bloodline. And so the Rahu Neptune conjoining out of sign is a telltale that there is a Neptunian facet to this. Neptunian can be drugs, Neptunian can be filmmaking, Neptunian can be inner films, okay? Neptunian, if I think about, let's say, MK Ultra, which is also Masonic and global, then there are people who are programmers and their job is to manifest for other people, to create the movie of the life of other people. And so it can be that that was a part of the movie of the life that was manifested for her by those secret societies or by MK Ultra. Then to go about why, I would need to know the woman more, what were her worldview, what were her beliefs, which could be secret, okay? So was it one case out of one simple case that is a solitary case? I think all numbers show no. Okay, and I look at this at a Mercury night with our Jupiter. So the combination of Mercury and Jupiter, the 22 and the 18th. And so this has to do with religion, worldview, and applied religion, which is secret society in this case. And it's on the axis, Mercury and Jupiter, on the axis where Rahu and Ketu will be in 2030. So I'm not saying it's 2030 related necessarily. There are other things way before that, and regardless of that, but that's leading me to, one of these cases that are genuinely a mystery, and we would have to uncover the deeper layers of these Masonic rites, these courses, why the 357. We need to look at the 357. Do we have it further into the case? Okay. And we need to look at symbolism that may or may not be there. And those things will begin to tell us more. Again, when a secret society is very difficult to solve a murder case because it's a language that's supposed to be hidden. Now we have more and more information about those secret societies. Okay, they're doing a little bit of PR towards the time where they are persecuted in history. So this is something we would really need to wait for more things to uncover and unravel. I don't think we can treat it as a solitary case. I don't think this case is solved by, finding the weapon, finding the this, finding the that. Right now, the sun is below horizon, so that would again denote that Saturn rather than Mars. So, the usual way we think about solving a cold case, we have the weapon, we have the this, we have the that, the concrete data, the evidence, and this is exactly what those secret societies play on when they think about getting away with murder, okay? And the whole sciences, where it's evidence-based heuristics, and the way we do evidence-based heuristics as an evidence-based medicine, and the way we do medicine that is all considered when we come to talk about a global cult that happened to be a betrayal cult, that to get to each rank you have to commit a crime, and it has to also be filmed. I would not be surprised if there is a film, a document of her murder. Okay? I believe those things are documented. They might be encoded in waveforms that are not so visible to humanity at large because the technology is hidden. So they might be encoded in those forms if you look for documentation. But again, Saturn, which is now 12 degrees Pisces, again, connection to that Jupiter, that Mercury. So this is given a structure, religious structure of something to do with poison, and something to do with secret societies. I think this is way beyond like WHO organization or something like that. No, it's way deeper. And so what the role of Mars was doing there, or what was the actual weapon, then there might be one, but I think poison would be, we have to wonder about poisons that do not leave a trace, hidden poisons. Okay, because Saturn in Pisces can be something hidden that's difficult to detect and diagnose. so poisons that leave the body after killing a person. We want to look at such possibilities, because that would be another way of murder that does not leave a trace, and those executions are basically would be left hidden, and so we would need whistleblowers from within these secret societies of are there such things, and that would actually solve in such cases, such series of cases would correct the karma of the secret societies so that they are mitigating, sweetening the verdict of being persecuted at this time. So to curate the betrayals, to curate the curses, to curate the inversions would bring a genuine enlightenment, and that would sustain whether it's the Rosicrucians, the Illuminated, okay, or Illuminati, or the Freemasons, okay, Masonry. That would be a completely changing of the idea of controlling society, and ushering us to golden ages, if we would like people to have to not be persecuted and to not have kind of all these weird lists where like, are you in the cult, are you not in the cult, and then of course killing the wrong people unnecessarily. So I think the more we have whistleblowers on that, the more it corrects the karma. And yes, this is not a case that the foundation can solve per se. They may find a weapon or they may find a motive, but you can always get a person with the motive and a weapon, especially when they don't have housing. So so I think that is easily addressed by solving the marginalized issues of society, which the family, the Frist, did tend to, and very likely does. But the thing is that to understand what caused this, we have to look deeper than a weapon and deeper than a solitary motive, especially in the age of Pluto Aquarius, and especially when the things that pop up are to do with secret societies, sacred numbers, and to do with regal bloodline, and to do with the axis where 2030 eclipses will take place in, and the COVID eclipses took place in. I think that is a telltale. So I hope I didn't piss off YouTube algorithm too much. I was trying to upload to BitChute an episode where I show what cold cases to tend to, and it doesn't work. So I'm looking for another platform, and I see if I can download that, upload that, and I will let you know of more platforms where you can find my videos. You can suggest platforms for me that I can put this content on. I see the Mercury Saturn is working its way on my podcast, and ushering me to the golden ages of both water expands upon cooling, to grow with love, do it by feet, and the general umbrella of spirit of matter. There's not a red umbrella, but a umbrella that actually gets you through the rain of the current times. So thank you for listening.